Thank you so much. Can you guys hear me? All right? Okay, cool. Thank you so much for having me. I am very excited to be here. I'm Michaela. And I'm a little bit nervous because when Felicia called me and asked me if I wanted to do this, I was having fever, so I don't really remember saying yes to this. But I did. And the first thought that went through my head when I realized that I've actually said yes was how many people in this industry that are invited to speak to people that wants to enter it, and they just really just takes up a lot of time, and they love to hear themselves talk, and they want to be very abstract about what music is and what the business is. And if I'm gonna do this, I want to say something that's actually with a substance that's gonna be helpful to someone. And I've thought, okay, so how do I do that? And what can I bring to the table? What can I talk about that can actually be of value to you guys? And since I didn't quite know who you guys were gonna be, that proved to be difficult. I've been in the music industry, well, I guess you could say 10 years. But mostly that's been as a performer myself, as a singer and musician, freelancing. So my actual experience of the business, the industry, the machinery, that's actually just 2.5, 3 years back, since I started working at 10. So I don't know shit. I'm still learning. I'm still learning every day. And I hope to give you some inspiring and maybe some tips about how you can go about to start working, earning money as musicians or as artists or songwriters. But I can only give you from what I've learned so far. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead. There'll be time after also. But if you just feel like I'm on point and you need to ask me something right away, just go ahead. Let me see. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about, I'll introduce myself a little bit more, and I'll talk about what we do at 10, and especially the publishing side where I work, and the creative part of the publishing company, which is usually a little bit new to people. And I thought I'd go into just a couple of tips if you want to become a professional songwriter, if you want that to be your profession, ways that you could go or stuff that you could do. That's just suggestions and tips. Yeah, so that's it. So I moved from Gothenburg to Stockholm when I was 16 to become a pop star. That didn't happen. So as everybody else, I thought I have to make money in other ways in the music industry. No. I toured a bit. I freelanced. I did all of the Viking Line ferries and the weddings and the 50-year-old parties. I'd done all of that. And I realized I want to work with music full time, and I love it. That's my passion in life, and I started studying music management. And then I landed my internship at 10, and I stayed on my another internship, put all of the eggs in one basket, and I just said, hey, I'm not going anywhere, you have to hire me, and they did, thank God. So I've been working at 10 for 2.5 years. Does anybody here know 10? Is it, yeah, maybe some of you guys, okay. It's a 360 company, which is, instead of you having a management and a publishing company and a label, you have everything in-house. So we do everything except booking. We're not a booking company for live gigs. And we are 100% independent, so we don't have any American owning us, which almost everyone else does. We're a small company. We're very small. But we're growing very fast. And we represent artists and songwriters such as Zara Larsson, Icona Pop, Elephant, Eric Hassel, Nikki and the Dove, and so on. We have many wonderful talents, artists and songwriters. And we have about 20 songwriters that are only songwriters and write for other artists. And we have a studio in LA also, actually, which we focus a lot on bringing people over there. So that's a little bit of what 10 does. I work as an A&R at the publishing part. And that is something that's developing the creative part of a publishing company. So a publisher, normally the main focus is to make sure that to administrate you as a songwriter, your song, and making sure you get your money from all of the different kinds of the parts of the world. And if your song is played on radio in Australia, you'll get the money from that. And if it's played on TV in Japan, you'll get the money from that. And if someone buys a record in Brazil, you get the money. So that's something that you do. But the creative part of the publishing company is really, really growing. So we work with our songwriters to help them develop creatively. We try to be a part of their creative process. We try to feedback on their songs, help them prioritize their time, find interesting projects for them to work with, and find other great songwriters to get them in the same room with them, and pitch their song. We use our network as a company because it's easier for us to have a very broad network, and we can use that network to pitch your songs, which could be very difficult for if you are just you. So that's something that a publishing company does. That's more of the creative part. Is a publishing company as a term, is that something familiar to you guys, or is that very new? Okay, that's a difficult question to answer. You need yes and no's. Do you guys know what a publishing company is now, or do you feel like you know it? Yes, we do. Okay, good. Please ask me if I'm going too fast. Okay. So I thought, how many of you guys want to write songs for a living? Quite a many. Okay, and do you want to be artists as well? How many of you guys? Okay, cool. So that's actually going very overlapping. I guess it's always been like that, but that's what I can say from my experience, that a lot of people are going over, for instance, to LA, and they go over as a writer, but also like in the back of their head, they're like, we're gonna be an artist as well. But they go over with an open mind and they go into sessions, and then when they write like a really, really great song, that's really me, they put it in their backpack and they're like, this song is mine. And then they collect all of those songs, and one day they have this great package, and they go to the labels and they be like, I've worked with them and them and them, and I have a cut on that artist, and now I want to do it myself, and here's my great songs. That's a really good way to do that. You don't have to go to LA to do that. That's just very common over there. You can do that here as well. But that's interesting to see, because I thought I'd give you some tips about how can you go about what kind of directions are there to do that as a profession. And I usually get that question a lot, like, how do I get anyone to notice me? Like, how do I present myself to a company, to a label, or to an A&R, or to a publishing company? And I guess there are a couple of practical things that you can think about, such as don't send too many songs. Send a link that works. Basic stuff that I guess I don't have to tell you guys. Something that could be good to hear as well, but don't send too many songs. Send your 3 best. That's a good thing. But also, other stuff that I think that you can think about. And the first thing is, why do you want to become sign with a company? And for a songwriter, and for me as an A&R at publishing, I'm talking foremost about a publishing company. Why should I, as a writer, sign with a publishing company? Sure, they can do all of these stuff for me, but I could also do that myself. Signing with a publishing company is hiring them to do a job for me. I believe that you can get a lot out of signing with a publishing company. If you have someone there that believes in you, that wants to work with you, wants to develop you, I think that can give you so much. But that's always a choice. And the main thing that I think that you have to remember if you want to sign to a publishing company is that you are still your own entrepreneur. It's very, very common that songwriters think that once I've signed with a publishing company, I'm a professional songwriter. Then I'm done. Then I'm good. That's only the start of your travels. Because what you get when you sign with the publishing company, you usually get an advance, or you should at least ask for it. It's money that gives you maybe some amount of time to only get in the studio or wherever you like to write songs, and so you have some money to live by when you are creating. But you have to remember that the advance is only a loan, and you're gonna have to pay that back, and you will pay it back by recouping. Am I making sense? Yeah. Okay. So that's gonna work itself out, absolutely. But you have to remember it's a loan, and you are still gonna have to build your own brand. You are still gonna have to be networking and being working for yourself as a songwriter. You're not hired as an employee. You're still your own company and your own brand and your own songwriter, and I think that's very important to not forget that. And still, you absolutely should put pressure on your publishing company and your A&R, and absolutely. But also remember that they're not going to do everything for you. You have to do the work. Learn to write with other people if you feel uncomfortable with that. I think that's something that try that, because there are very few songs today that's written by only one person. So if you're not already trying to write with other people, try it. It's very useful. There's a song called Emergency by Icona Pop. I think it's 14 songwriters on that song. They weren't in the room together at the same time though, but still, it's it's helpful that you learn to write with others. I wish someone told me that before. Maybe I'd be a pop star. And last but not least, try to be someone that it's fun to work with. And that sounds a little bit stupid when I say it like that, but the industry is super small. It's very tiny. Everybody knows everybody. And there are actually songwriters that's not really that great songwriters, but they're really fun to have in the room. And I like to call them vibers, because they're in the room, they're vibing, and they're just producing so much great energy into the session that is actually helping write a song. Sometimes they didn't even write one word or one melody, but they were in the room, and their energy in the room made the song. And I'm not saying be that person, but just can you imagine if you're a great songwriter and you're fun to work with? That's amazing. So try to learn to collaborate. I guess that's my core, what I want to say the most. Yeah, I think I'm done. I feel so dizzy now. Did I do okay? Thanks. Thank you. I got more excited than I thought. I felt so passionate about everything that I wanted to say, so I just ran it through so quickly. I'm sorry if you didn't get anything. Do you have any questions? Yes.
What do you do specifically to pitch a song? Can you give an example? Yeah. What do you do specifically to pitch a song? Can you give some examples?
Mm-hmm. Well, the process is very different. Sometimes a writer just sends me a demo, and it's usually, it's a writer that's signed to 10. So maybe we brainstorm a little bit about the song first. Maybe I have some feedback, or I can hear this song to Rihanna, but maybe you could change this and this, and it'd be even better for that. So we brainstorm a little bit about it, and then we go through what kind of pitch opportunities that we can see for the song. We also know in the back of our heads, and we get lists from companies, so we know a little bit about what artists are looking for songs and what kinds of songs. But usually that's also just, everybody's always looking for songs, mainly. That's, if a really great song comes about, it doesn't matter if that person is out on tour or not focusing on the next album, they're gonna want to hear it anyway. The window is just smaller, but yeah. So, and then I send the song to the contact that we might have, or if I don't have a contact, then that label or the management, I'll hunt someone down and or ask my colleagues. We have some senior colleagues that knows a lot more people than I do, so I can always ask them. And I send the song, and I hope that they like it. And if they do, we start, of course, brainstorming about if they want to do another production for it, if they want to try it out with the artist, or they want to rewrite something. It's always something. So we go from there. Was that a good answer to your question? Okay, thanks, good. Absolutely.
I just want to know about, as you said, publishing. Do you mean publishing by the video of the song as well?
No, as a publishing company, we work with the songs, only the songs. But then we have a collaboration with a company called United Screens, and they go out on YouTube and online and make sure they collect all of the money that's possible to get from there. But as a music publisher, we only care about the song. But it is a little bit different because we are a 360 company, so we also have a label and management. So we are in each other's pockets, so to speak. So everything sort of overlaps in that kind of company. But as a pure music publisher, it's only the song.
Okay, could you please, tell me about if somebody has come from another land, for example, from Asia. For example, I have done a couple of videos, and I want to publish the videos here. Its language is different, everything is different, the music is different. Do you have the possibility to publish those videos, and what kind of advantages I could have as an artist of those videos?
Well, as I was saying, a music publisher, we would only publish the song. So if you want to publish a video, I'd say put it on YouTube. That's the thing. And did you write the songs yourself on the videos?
Yeah.
Because then you can collect money from your copyright on the songs. And that you can actually, I think you could do that yourself through a company such as United Screens or other kinds of, there's a lot of them out there that collects your copyright money from online. But if you want to publish your video, I guess on TV, I'm not the right person to answer that.
Okay.
But you can send it to MTV. I can give you contact there.
But I'm afraid it's a different language. MTV is in English format is the medium of the language of not in English. So,
okay.
So that's a different.
Well,
time.
The internet is a mystery and a privilege.
So, through your whole life, it could be in music or in your regular life. What do you regret the most that you have didn't done?
You know what? When I was studying, that's the question I always asked all of my the teachers that came and had lectures to us. I thought it was such a brilliant question. I'm not so happy getting it myself though. Shit, what do I regret the most?
Is it too late now to say sorry? Yeah.
What do I regret the most?
You can think about it.
Yeah, well, okay. I guess I could think about it a little bit more, but I guess I regret, and I keep regretting, not believing in myself enough. And that feels very personal all of a sudden, but that's actually That's actually what I regret the most. I think that I could trust myself and my knowledge and what I can do, and even more than I do. And being a young girl in the music industry, it's tricky, and it's kind of new to have female A&Rs. Like, for real, that's something new. So it's important to really believe in yourself and to really stand up for who you are and do what you believe in and everything. And I guess that I could always work more on that.
Yeah,
That's such a cliche answer. I'm sorry.
It's really good answer. I mean,
We can all think about that though. Like,
I mean, look at where you're standing right now. So
yeah, this is so weird. That you guys want to listen to what I have to say. That's just weird. But I appreciate it. Anyone else has a question? Yeah. I can help with the mic. Thanks.
So, how do you get into songwriting sessions when you're not part of the songwriting session? If you're not signed to a company, do you have any tips for that?
Okay, good question. Do you know other people that write songs?
Yes.
Yeah. You ask them to sit down and write a song with you. And I know that's... I did not mean that to sound dryg. But what I mean is you have a network around you. You already know people. And when you start writing songs together with your friends, and then they have friends, and you get into another room, and maybe that person has a friend that knows that person on that label, and they listen to the song, and then all of a sudden you just work your network, work that way. But you can also go on these kinds of stuff, meet other people that creates in new environments, go outside your own network. There's a lot of these kind of great events and mingles, and there's the yearly STIM expo, STEM Music Expo. That's a huge event where there's a lot of songwriters there. Or you can attend a school. We've signed a lot of people from Musikmakarna, great school up in the north. You move into the woods and you write songs for a year, and then you come back, and we signed a lot of people from there. That school seems to be really, really great. And there's other schools like that, so you meet others and you get time to write. That's an advantage of studying, because you can get the money from CSN, and then you can. That's wonderful. I don't know if CSN realizes how many great songwriters they've helped. They should put that in the ad. Was that any help? Yeah. Okay, cool. I have to wrap it up now, don't I? Maybe one more question. Okay, one more question. Okay. Okay, I'll help you with that. Okay, there you go.
All right, so you want us to work as songwriters, and
if you want it, I don't want it. If you don't want it,
yeah. What do you want us to work on?
What kind of music do I want you to write?
No. I was thinking, what are you expecting from a songwriter whose expertise or what he or she can do is write songs, but doesn't know particularly many people in the industry and so on. Mm-hmm. So what are you expecting your songwriter to do? Because you call her an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm.
So, besides writing songs?
Right.
Okay, cool. All right. So,
sorry for being unclear.
No. Thank you. You were very clear. I guess all of this other stuff I talked about, networking and putting yourself into sessions, telling if you're signed to a publisher, telling your publisher or your A&R, these are the people I want to work with, because they can be proactive and they can find great stuff for you. But if you also bring them into what you want to do, and you think about what you want to do, and you create that path for yourself, they're going to help you. But if you're not even thinking like that, it's so much harder to try to bring you somewhere. and pitch your songs yourself. I mean, that's a great way to get to know the right people and do all of that stuff too. Don't expect everyone else to do everything for you. I think that's a good.
Okay, so you're not exclusive if you're signed to, let's say, your company.
Well, yeah, you are for us, but your songs are always going to be your songs. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can pitch your song.
Yeah, but if I ask...
Yes. Okay. So yeah, exactly. So the deal is, we get a cut for every penny you make. We also make money. But if you don't make any money, we don't make any money. So, yeah, it's a teamwork. But you're gonna have to write the songs. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll be around if you guys have any questions afterwards. Thank you so much.